good morning in Bermuda and good afternoon in the UK.
Yes.
Welcome to a special Islandstead Sports Talk. I'm joined by Nicholas Lewis. He is part of a group that Make It Work Global.
Yes.
Nicholas, can you give us some insight as to what Making It Work Global is meant to do?
Great. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm Nicholas Lewis. Thanks, Earl, for having me on the live broadcast. I always appreciate the chance whenever I get the chance to just tell people what Make It Work Global is all about. So, really, I started this about 4 or 5 years ago, back in 2016, 2017. And I'm a professional basketball player myself, and I'm originally from Toronto, Canada, currently in the United Kingdom. So every summer I would go back home and coach a summer camp to the youth of my community. And as the years went on, I just realized that, me coming back for 6 weeks, just doing a camp, it's good for the kids during the summer, but then after that, there's no real long-term effect because obviously I was away from the kids in my community, in my neighborhood, and I wouldn't be able to see them throughout the rest of the year. So I really just wanted to be able to come up with something bigger for the youth, something for them to really grasp on and allow myself to open up doors through my resources for the kids. So basically, I decided to come up with my own sports platform, and that's Make It Work Global. Initially, I had it set out to be kind of like a leadership mentorship program, but as the years went on, our team got a lot bigger. Our goals decided to increase and to heighten, and really what we are now is an international sports platform. And right now, what we do is we give youth different resources through our platforms pillars. So basically, we have a global training pillar, which is really just about being able to get kids in the gym or on the pitch, the field, no matter what the sport is. Right now, our main focus was basketball, and really what global training is all about is just getting the kids in the gym, getting them working on their game. You know what I mean, like basic training to elite level training. So we have a few programs going on in the United States right now. One in Springfield, Illinois, led by Herm Sonora, our global training director. And really, when I say we turn into an international sports platform, so what we do now is we create our own sport apparel. So we're also on the marketing side of things. So we customize gear for all of our clients. We have a few partnerships in the UK with universities, professional sports teams, all down to high schools and youth teams. So basically, we try to help teams market because we know that's a lot of things that's a big portion that's missing here in the UK is the marketing aspect of things. I first came to the UK in 2012, and I've seen basketball grow a tremendous amount. So I know where the sport was lacking a few years ago was the marketing side of things. So that's something that we do for teams and our clients. So that consists of commercials, video shoots, photo shoots, graphic design, that kind of thing. So there's no we can't really put what Make It Work Global does into one sentence. So the route that we like to explain and we like to compare ourselves is we're kind of taking the Nike route and the Adidas, Under Armour, Puma, those kind of bigger global brands. So we're trying to do the same thing, but really our niche and our difference is we want to really go into communities and affect their communities and actually give back to the youth and guide them down the right path. We don't want to be just about sport, or we don't want to be just about the gear, like the customized gear. We want to actually get into the communities and actually affect the youth and broaden their horizon and show them firsthand all the experiences and give them access to the role models, not just have the role models out there who, you know what I mean, you can't get in contact with. We want to be able to actually give these youth a chance to be able to speak to professional athletes and speak to professional basketball players like myself and other professionals we have signed up to the brand. So that's really what we're all about, man. We want to be able to just give back to the youth, but do it on a global scale and market sport as well.
You started out, you said so, you started out just looking at the sport of basketball, but you've actually become more diverse now in opening yourself up. And you've also stated that it's not just about all the field stuff for the youngsters, it's offering opportunities. When did you see the need for that to expand?
I seen the need for that to expand as soon as I realized that youth. youth weren't getting a fair chance to actually go to where they want to go. You know what I mean? So I'll use back home for an example in Toronto. There's a ton of talent. We've had a couple number one draft picks go through the NBA, coming from Canada and whatnot. But at the same time, there's a number of athletes who who've been playing basketball their whole life, but they just don't have the right resources in terms of getting to that NCAA Division One outlet. You know what I mean? They didn't have a chance to play on a team because for it could be many different reasons. Could be they don't know the coach. They don't the rosters might have been full. You know what I mean? There's a couple of different reasons as to why I felt we needed to expand, because at the end of the day, just because one door is closed doesn't mean another door cannot open. So that's a philosophy that we really believe in. We really want to be able to open up doors. So like one thing we do for the UK athletes is we basically like our marketing side of things. We want to be able to market these players to different outlets. So that may not just be in Europe. It may be able to go into the United States and get a scholarship there. And if that door's closed, then maybe we knock on Canada's door. You know what I mean? So it's things like that. It's opportunities like that we try and create through our platform. And yeah, that's another reason why, like you said, we're in different sports now, and that's another reason why we made a partnership with CP Athletic, with Coach Pete, who's from Bermuda. So we're trying to do different things like that, with different open up different doors. So maybe we can get the Canadian athletes over here in the UK playing football or futsal. You know what I mean? Because that's the number one sport here in the UK. So like I said, we started off with basketball, but that main reason being is I'm a professional basketball player. You know what I mean? So I use my resources to get the connections and to get the ground running, hit the ground running. So basically, that's what we want to do now. We want to focus on other sports and just continue to do the same blueprint that we're working on right now with basketball. Just use it on different sports. And as you know, with the partnership with CP Athletic and CP Sports Group, now we got football along the way. So hopefully we can get some more people under the football umbrella.
What attracted you to CP Athletic? Because Coach Pete has been doing a tremendous job both here in Bermuda and over in the UK, helping and giving that diversity. But what attracted you to that organization that made you want to say, yeah, we can partner with this group to expand?
Right. That's a great question. And I mean, like I said, I started with basketball, and I knew me, especially being in the UK. I mean, the Premier League is the best football league in the world. We were talking about the best football players in any country want to come to the UK and play football, or what my fellow Canadians and Americans call it soccer. You know what I mean? So me just being the CEO of Maker It Global, I'm always every single day trying to find ways to expand the company and just continue with the things that we're doing. And basically, how it started is it was one of the days that I was researching, because like I said, we always want to dip into new sports. So I knew it was just a matter of time for us to start with our football programs and our football partnerships. So one day I was looking through Instagram and whatnot, and Coach Pete's profile actually came up because he posts a lot of stuff on his futsal programs and his football partnerships and the players that he has on board. So I've done my research. I looked them up, looked up the website and whatnot, and I seen that they have a lot of things going on. They have training programs going on in Bermuda. They have some athletes here in the UK. They signed a couple of athletes to a few academies, and these are really the programs that I'm looking to partner with, the programs who are fairly new like myself. They're kind of doing the same sort of things in terms of developing the youth and helping them open up doors and receive more opportunities for the kids to just really get a better life. And Coach Pete's big on education, so that's something that we like to preach as well, because at the end of the day, sport doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? You can't play sport forever. So I'm glad that Coach Pete promotes education first. So that's basically how it really happened, man. I reached out to Coach Pete, and basically I let him know that, you know what I mean, we're trying to empower youth programs and professional sports, and definitely having the youth giving the youth opportunities to actually get to that professional level. So basically I let him know what Make It Work Global is all about and how we're able to help. And then yeah, man, we've been in talks about this partnership for a few months now, so it's good that we're finally getting things off the ground. And P and Felicia have a good thing going on over there at CP Sports Groups and CP Athletics, and that's just what we're all about, working with teams who are, you know what I mean, who want to get to that big stage, and we're just here to help them out.
If someone from overseas wanted to get involved in the tournament, say a parent wants to get their youngster involved, how would they go about doing that?
So we're actually so in terms of Make It Work Global, we actually have a few projects coming up in terms of like tournaments, things like that. We want to eventually start our own basketball and football league here in the UK and different areas in the United Kingdom. And basically, with obviously with COVID and things like that, I mean, a lot of stuff basically everything has been closed in terms of the football pitches, indoor activities, whether that be futsal or basketball. It's been tough, but for anybody out there who's willing to get in touch with us or who has any questions, they could come on our website and send us an email. But on our Instagram, we'll be posting things basically weekly as they go by, or whenever we have a project coming up. We'll let our fan base know what's going on. But yeah, man, there's a lot for us to look forward to being a in terms of us being an actual sport outlet. So we're gonna go really hard with the projects coming up in terms of tournaments, leagues, things like that. So there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for the youth. They're just gonna have to bear with us as we all go through this hard time of COVID right now with things being on lockdown. But things are supposed to open up as of this early midsummer. So hopefully by the end of summer we got a lot of projects going on.
When you look at where you started to where you are today, where do you see this program down the road, maybe 2 or 3 years from now?
I think, I mean, that's a great question again. I mean, it's a real question as well because, I mean, where I'm at today with the company, I honestly couldn't even see it. I honestly couldn't even be able to vision us being in this spot right now, by having this amount of partnerships. So, like I said, we're partnered with universities like University of Bristol, Sheffield College, Riverside Basketball Academy, CP Sports Group. You know what I mean? And we got programs going on in the States as well. We got some stuff going on in Toronto that's gonna happen as soon as COVID's done. So I mean, it's huge right now, and that's really gone up over like the last year and a half. So to be honest, in the next 2 to 3 years, I see a large amount of partnerships with us. Probably some different sports, that are going to be on board. So obviously we have basketball and football right now. So we're actually hoping to get into some American football over the next couple months. Baseball as well. It's another big sport. So I mean, 2 to 3 years, I just see our continue going down that route of being a big sports platform for marketing and sports apparel and us just being able to continue making partnerships and being able to help the youth along the way because that's what we're all about at the end of the day. So the more partnerships we can make with these institutions such as the universities and sixth forms and high schools and you know what I mean academies, it all goes down to the youth being able to succeed and gain off that because at the end of the day, I mean, all youth have to start somewhere. They either have to start at their academies, their local clubs and whatnot, and that's how they get to the professional level. They got to start from the bottom and work their way up as life goes on. And our motto at Make It Work Global is the youth will always be our future because no matter what, you know what I mean. There's going to be a next wave of youth that are going to get pushed up into the professional level. So we want to be able to guide them throughout the whole way. We don't want to just try and grab them while they're professionals. You know what I mean? We want to build them from the ground up. So in the next 2 to 3 years, I see a lot of athletes who are even on board right now. In the next 2 to 3 years, hopefully we got a lot of professionals who are making a living off of the sport that they're doing, and maybe one day they'll be able to say, "Hey, man, I've been with Make It Work Global since the start of my career. I've been wearing Make It Work Global gear." So that's kind of the route that we want to take. So hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years, the numbers just expand and it gets a lot bigger, and we're able to implement our strategic strategies in different countries right now. So right now I'd say we got ties in Bermuda, Toronto, United States, and the UK. Hopefully, within the next 2 to 3 years, we're able to add on another 5 to 10 countries.
No, it's important that I ask this question because you're a professional basketball player in the UK.
Yeah.
A lot of our young people honestly believe the only basketball is the NBA, but
Yeah.
the fact that you can actually get a university scholarship through basketball in the UK is an option. Um, Explain what those viables are, because again, many people only focus on I've got to be in America to make it as a professional in a sport. Just like a lot of people in Bermuda believe the only professional footballer is the one that plays in the UK when
UK.
there's
Yeah.
actually professional leagues in Canada, in the US as well.
No, that's a great point, and honestly, that's something that I'm very big on. I actually preach that a lot myself because at the end of the day, right? If these kids are a lot of these kids um like to think that there's only one league, there's only the NBA, there's only the MLB, there's only the Premier League, you know what I mean, in the UK or the United States. But at the end of the day, only a very small, I think it's something below 1% through every draft. You know what I mean? These players are getting drafted to go to these big time leagues. So if you're not part of that 1%, then what? You know what I mean? So what I like to preach is that, you know what I mean? You have to be aware of what's out there. You know what I mean? There's tons of league. There's the Euro League, which they pay a lot of a big amount of salaries to their players. You know what I mean? There's almost every country in Europe has their own professional basketball league. A lot of countries have their own professional football leagues that are actually paying good money. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what these kids need to realize is that there's always more than one option, and that's another big reason why I started up Make It Global, because my thing is that they're not aware. They don't know that there's a lot of different leagues, professional leagues out there that they can make a living. You know what I mean? They can be able to take care of their family by being able to go to a different country and playing the same sport that they love the most. You know what I mean? So it's actually a kind of a sad thing, because at the same time, a lot of these players who grow up in their local neighborhoods, you know what I mean, and they even get to that university level, they get to the Division 1 level. For example, let's talk about a Bermudian basketball player who actually gets a scholarship to go play in Division 1. They go play in Division 1 for 4 years, and their mind's so set on the NBA. And then when they fall short of the NBA, then they're just like, oh man, I didn't make the NBA, and then that's it. They take away from their passion, all the time that they've dedicated towards the sport of basketball or football that they've been putting in for about 18 years, and they just throw it out the window, when in fact they can actually still, whether they find an agent or do their research and reach out to these teams who are out there in the world, in different countries, not in different countries outside of the NBA, they can still have the opportunity to be able to get to that professional level, and maybe even work their way up to the Euro League, and then maybe one thing leads to another, and then they get their opportunity to get into the NBA. You know what I mean? There's all different routes that can happen, but I feel like a lot of players, they try and throw all their marbles in one basket instead of exploring their opportunities. So yeah, man, if there's a chance for a player to get a scholarship in the United Kingdom because they couldn't get a scholarship in the United States, I would tell that player to go for it no matter what, because at the end of the day, this is something that you love. Like, if you really love the sport as much as these players think that they love the sport, then they would go explore their options.
Um, Working with Coach Pete, I know he has a lot of vision, and pretty much listening to you, you have a lot of vision about helping as many as you possibly can get into a program. I want to wish you all the best. Please stay in touch. I will stay in touch with Coach Pete as well to see how you guys are progressing. And we look forward to you assisting even further more young Bermuda athletes, let alone the young athletes in Canada, US, and the UK.
Definitely. Thanks, Earl. Thanks for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate what you're doing for the sport, and for everybody on the island of Bermuda. But definitely, man, anything that I can do, or anyone that you could put me in contact with, or vice versa, man, just let me know. And like you said, man, it's all about the youth at the end of the day. So I really appreciate you.
All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.